Oh, Norm's not.
No, it's not. I wonder if he's gonna turn. No, I didn't turn.
Aaron.
You guys all done?
I haven't even stopped since this morning. I mean, I had already been to Noblesboro, like, so I've just. It's been one of those days, but everything has happened that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I even just finished my sonography. I mean, literally, it's just been like I haven't even taken a breather.
Yeah. Do you eat?
I ate on the road because
Okay.
I knew I wasn't gonna have time to eat anything today, so I grabbed something after my showing in Noblesboro on my way to Sally's and it was a breakfast sandwich.
Well, that's good, at least you got.
Yeah, so I got something.
At least it had one food group.
Exactly. Protein, bacon and eggs and cheese, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's good because- Yeah, the fact that she's just sitting in her camp chair.
That's how I left her.
Hi.
Good, good. How are you?
Right.
Good.
Is everything?
What?
Eric's going to visit today. But he turns down. He's gonna.
And yet,
He turned us down, but he's here.
you didn't tell.
Oh, you come on to the
All
table.
in a trial.
You sit right
All in a
here.
trial.
Sure.
No secret handshake, no.
Don't tell him all. Yes, we have to initiate him first.
Shit.
Ah.
Great. Hi. I don't know that we're that. I'm very. Perfect. It's not shit. And.
What is done?
Yeah.
I'm Elisa.
I just missed the last. Lisa?
Elisa,
Elisa.
yes.
Hello.
Hi.
What is done?
I said thank you.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
I couldn't,
She was just.
I couldn't,
No.
and I didn't even.
But Jen's.
Was she open today?
They were not open today because they had open Thursday. I think she was maybe open earlier in the day, but you know.
They're probably just.
They had to open up.
Yeah, okay. But there are.
Bring furniture down from the apartment and then they're gonna take furniture back out, so.
There's something.
Oh.
So I got there at 4:44.
Well, that's how I put that, I might even have. You want something?
Yeah.
Because it's. I mean, they allowed. So.
Is there something that impact?
Hi, everybody. I'd like to, get the meeting started. Thank you all for coming. The first thing I'd like to do is, well, I think we already did the instructions, but maybe just do a quick, I don't know if we need to do that. What do you think, Lisa? Do we?
Sure, why don't
Yeah, right, Fred. Early.
My name's Eric McIntyre.
Corinna Stone.
Elisa Eason.
Sure, down by.
Aaron, stop.
Oh, and I'm, select board liaison, I'm not voting member of the committees.
And so Bill's no longer
No,
going to be.
No, that's me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
and we know that, the development director of staff liaison. I just wanted to, like.
So we say that-
Members,
We say that again, Aaron, sorry,
staff liaison,
is you.
or me, yeah.
When we go into an executive session, all the liaisons liaise out somewhere.
I wanted
You've done that, but.
Just wanted to welcome Irv, he's the newest member, the board approved his application. We have the application, it will be on the next select meeting agenda.
Great.
There's another woman by the name of Katie DuPont we received an application from. And she will be considered at the next upper meeting, so. And we still have one more vacancy.
Oh,
I'm pleased that you're here, thank you. We just go down, under new business, we don't have meeting minutes.
Oh, do we have to have the thing on?
It is a,
I guess I was.
I was,
expecting-
I didn't wanna waste time, I'm sorry, to get on the big screen, it's
Okay.
just a picture of us talking.
Sure, no, it's fine, that was my cue to say, and I didn't hear it say recording or anything.
Oh, we are live. We are live, but,
Aaron, do you want me to
what's up?
say anything about why I'm here? You know, would that be bad, a little? I'll say why I'm here. I'm just curious about like the structure of the group and what you all are up to and working on.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Great, are you a reporter?
No, potential. I had applied at one point in time. I'm not quite sure I have the capacity to do the committee properly right now, but we'll find it. So I'm just curious what you all are up to and whether.
The business in town on Water Street.
Oh, okay,
So-
Village Handicraft.
Not a reporter,
We do have a report
just
on
curious.
Monday.
We took,
Yeah, so. Susan Jones,
Hello, Susan.
thank you for bringing that attention. Yeah, that'd be nice. So under new business, we had a presentation from Leslie Roberts, co-chair of WCAT regarding the Pleasant Street extension. They informed me last night that they would be attending at around 9:30, so we're just gonna get into our stuff and then. I think the big thing that we're working on, to answer your question, Eric, is if I really wanna get going on and sort of proceed and develop a set of goals. And then and move on with that, and so then. Hold on one second.
Showing me around?
Yeah, okay, all right. Excuse me. So,
And to our liaisons.
well, I wanna just provide some perspective. Oh, go ahead.
I have a
I'm sorry.
technical point, which is we no longer have a secretary, so we should probably make that our first order of business.
Sure. Oh, you quit. Okay.
Well, I can't
She
be the
quit.
secretary.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I could take the minutes for this meeting if you want, or,
I'm happy to take them, as long as that's okay, if I'm not an official part of this yet, I'm happy to take,
sure, okay,
if everybody's.
I appreciate that.
Minimal.
So, yeah, someone will just have to take over for me or a little bit after 6, I gotta pack.
Well, we
but
go just an hour.
Beautiful,
Yeah, we have a sort of hard cost alliance, so,
sure, okay. We'll keep it moving right on.
so.
I'll
okay,
send
so-
you, I would send you an old one, but you. No.
Great.
Okay. So,
Okay, great.
thank you for that clarification. Great. So if you recall, in the select board directive, they charge us with developing some goals. So that's like the first order of business. We spent the first year or so kind of reading, learning about Wiscasset and talking about some priorities and things. But now, I drafted a set of goals, mind you, that they're in rough draft form. But I wanted it as for you to consider, something for you to consider and for discussion purposes only. Many of these goals actually came from another document, so they weren't just something that I dreamt up in my sleep. But, we have a comprehensive plan that was written in 2008. And then we also have a business plan, for economic development that was written in 2000. And so many of those ideas came from those concepts, and then there were some other documents. And then some of it was that I did dream up, by listening to people and their concerns, like the businesses in town, I've heard. What I'd like first is to consider the broader goals. Now, before we get into the weeds, of this. What I did was that there's sort of a headline, like housing, waterfront and things like that. Those are the broader goals. What I envisioned then is to develop, once we sort of gel around the broader goals, I want to then develop a set of actionable strategies. So like first, like the airport, I don't, we'll talk about the airport and then we can develop like more salient goals for that. Things like, increased traffic, you know, ways to increase the traffic, hangar development, and things like that. Um, so. So then the next step of that process is to prioritize them into categories of short, medium, and long range goals. So what I envision like short term would be probably like 1 to 3 years. I mean, I don't wanna like spend too much time stressing out about this, you know, but what I wanna see is hear and discuss. Is what do you think is the most important and least important, and have that exercise, but. You know, we can. Talk about how many years is short and how many years is, you know, medium, and how many years out is long range. I would say long range would be 5 to 10. Then we would assign area of responsibility. But mostly kind of, this is just a plan for us to work. But there would be some overlap. So for example, the airport or the waterfront, you know, I see us developing a partnership with those committees to kind of work together on helping achieve those goals. What I'd like to do is once we have a broader set of goals and the actionable strategies, is to create a subcommittee or, you know, have individuals from this committee kind of take on the implementation of those goals. Now, I'm not saying you do them yourself, you would work with me. And, you know, between meetings, and we would work on implementing those goals. You know, what I mean by that would be is, for example, we might say like, we wanted to do wayfinding, improve the wayfinding or improve parking in the village. So somebody really, and this committee feels really compelled about that goal. They would work with me on putting together a proposal for the whole committee to consider. And then, we would then, that the committee would take action on it. So for example, if we said we wanted to build a parking lot here or something like that, or we wanted to apply for a grant for signs, better village signs, that kind of thing. We would, the committee would vote on it, and then we would bring it to the select board for approval. I view this as once we have the actual plan or the goals in place, this would just really be a living, breathing document. We would want to work the plan at every meeting. So I see myself, when I worked at another community, I had the select board set goals every July and August in that period. And then what we did was I put those 5 goals on the agenda of every meeting under select board goals. And at the end of the meeting, usually I would have select board members report back, because a select board member would take on a goal and they would report back on that goal. Now, there might not be anything to report back on, but it was the point that we were constantly staying focused on those items. And so I envisioned something like that here. Once we agree on these goals and we have consensus and we feel they're ready for approval, I want you all to vote on it, but then also we will present them to the select board for their approval. That's really important because I want their buy-in on this, and I want them to believe in the work see the work that we're doing, but also support our work. And as we proceed forward in the progress of this, I want to report back to them regularly.
Erin, can I ask you, when we're presenting to the select board, is that for them to approve our goals, or are we just informing them of what the goals of the economic?
I envision that they would approve them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if we were to get pushback from the selecting board, that would interrupt
So,
our.
I mean, you have a pretty, or, you know, they might not agree with our goals, or they might, and then so we would then go back.
Okay.
And address their
Right.
comments and concerns. So it might be a little bit of a process.
So I think I'm actually confused now. I thought you were saying going to the select board to seek approval for like an infrastructure improvement or something like that. You're talking about taking the written
I kind
document.
of missed the order of that. So
Sounds good.
the first step is to approve the whole set of goals.
Okay,
And
cool.
then Once we had to set the goals, then we would, you know, as we were working through the goals at every meeting, I would anticipate at some point we'll see progress, right? You know, and the subcommittees or individuals that I've been working with on a set of goals, we would be working on them together, you know, not just at the meeting, but at, you know, my office or your place of business or wherever, through email. And then we would then come back maybe with a proposal to the committee for review, and then the committee would approve that proposal or that goal, you know, the way to implement it.
Yeah.
And then once the committee approves that goal or strategy, or that proposal, that concept, that actionable item, then, like, for example, we might consider hiring a consultant to help us with a parking plan or study, you know, or hire an architect, somebody to help us, come up with a marketing plan or something like that. That might be, you know, some sort of goal. And then what we would do is present that to the select board. So I don't know if that makes sense, does it, or?
Yeah, I
Did
just wanted to
work-
clarify for
Alright.
the notes going out,
Alright.
what that order is and what we actually have to get approval on. And how you organize the subcommittees, but I think I got it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Does everybody have a set of goals in front of them?
Yeah.
There's
Is there still some?
still some printing, but yeah. I just grabbed the three that were done and brought them around. It should have been. They were in our packet anyway, I thought.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Everybody got what we Anybody at first glance at these, comments, concerns, I wanted to just put this out there, if this is just a very rough preliminary. Draft, for discussion purposes. We can change it any way we want. You wanna get rid of a category, more power, you know, we'll do that. If you wanted to add a category, let's do that. So. What I'd like, the first step is, like I said, is to just look at sort of the big categories. It's like, 9 categories.
So I had one category that I thought was missing based on kind of our last year and a half's discussions, which is expanding the business opportunities of 27 heading north.
Okay.
You know, we've talked about expanding sewage out that way, we spent, you know, just making it more of a commercial area, taking advantage of that, et cetera.
Okay.
And whether that should be a separate category or
I don't
under
know,
something else,
could that be,
you know.
subsumed under number 7, small business, I suppose, small businesses.
You brought, exactly, maybe it needs to be just a sub line under that.
Otherwise, it kind of competes with with the small, support small businesses. So
Yeah.
if it's within that, okay, it's.
Right.
I'm always sitting with her, you said expand business opportunities down 27.
Right, because we have businesses down there.
Yes, I'd love more.
All right, well, that's good. So you think it requires support small businesses and somewhere there, we can just put like. Yeah, for 27 commercial,
Yeah, because it's a, I mean, it's a major road, it's, yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Just goes to the capital. Just goes to the capital.
Yeah.
Well, I know Grounded is about to take over 27 Gardner Road, that old log cabin house, and they're about to have a whole cafe there. And then I think there's gonna be a couple other things popping up or possibilities, and start seeing some of those things today.
Thank you, Alyssa, for that. Any other feedback? Or do you want to talk about, maybe we just look at item 1 today. Yeah, we have a tough schedule here. First one was, optimize the underutilized energy infrastructure at the hill. I talked to Fred today, and he had some comments on that, but, I'd like to hear what you all thought about that initiative. You all feel passionate about it? Do you think that's important? I know we've made some news about some of this stuff.
Well, to me, we have a huge amount of infrastructure and it's a shame to let it go to waste. So,
Just a general question, this being my first meeting, are we hoping to dive into one or a few of these things to talk about what the committee is gonna do to like set some goals within these goals? Are we just talking about general ideas to start movement on these? What's our mission in this meeting today?
So I'd like to at least agree potentially today, we're running out of time, is to at least maybe agree on the 9 items.
Okay.
And then we can start working on the more actionable items, so that it's not too low, maybe at the next meeting. Feel free to email me, call me, or, you know, I'm sure this is appropriate bedside reading, and this is the highlight of your day. But, you know, just read it, think about it, let me know.
So we're gonna bring this to a vote at our next meeting.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that, I'm just.
No, I am.
Okay,
That wasn't a question. Let's move the ball.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. So any additions, corrections, or whatever, can we submit them to you between now and our next meeting?
yes,
And then we will have I'll call a black line copy for our next meeting, and we can vote it.
okay, that's fine.
Not even digging into each of the 9 items in detail? or
I'm
just what are we
going
doing
with the
tonight?
9 items.
Okay, good, fine.
Yes. I mean, this gives you flavor for the.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
and it should remain flexible. I mean, this is a tool for
Yep.
10 years, so we don't
Yeah.
wanna
I agree.
really tie our hands.
I agree.
Okay, so next meeting, we're voting to confirm that these are the 9 items we're focusing on and prioritize which items we want to start moving the ball on, or move the ball on all 9.
No, we're just gonna approve the 9 items
Okay,
to then submit to the select board for
Yes.
approval.
Okay.
And if we have time, maybe we will start talking about how to divide them up and who wants to do what.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I think all of these are just fine
Okay.
for general goals. I don't have a problem with any of them, and like I said, just adding 27 and small businesses makes sense.
Yeah, that
Was
makes-
my only thought, was that we kind of left that out. We spent a lot of time talking about it, but we left it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, not having had the time to look at all of them, just looking at the 9. Titles of each, I think that they're all important. I think they're all good start.
Yeah, I think all 9 items capture the variety and diversity of needs within the community really well. I think this is a great way to categorize what's needed and not leaving out anything important.
The other thing that, I didn't put in here, and now I think it's missing, which is kind of fun, the workforce housing fund, maybe.
Well, but in that kind of a detail, not
Yeah,
not a category.
All right, agreed.
Yeah, cause there's, I mean, there's affordable housing shortage, I mean, yeah, that kind of.
I'm putting my name in to volunteer to work with Aaron between now and then on the preamble. So there's gonna be a preamble, the 9 items, and these items you find as subsets are suggested but not cast in concrete.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah,
They are our thoughts today, it can change tomorrow.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Does everybody feel good about that?
gosh. Pinch me.
Did you say kick you?
No, pinch me. Um. The next item, I know, I see your,
You're going back to the agenda there?
Lord, I think we're done for today.
Yes.
Yes. Great, that's what I kind of. Accomplish something. The next item is, I just wanted to briefly talk about it, and then we can. Go from there, I think, yeah, I think. It was considered participating in the Rue Institute, venture forward program. And, basically, I was at a technology conference with them, a while ago. And, they made a presentation about this opportunity. And I thought it was kind of intriguing, and then I found out the cost, and, that is important. Anyways.
Why don't we get Mackenzie to do it?
It'd be more expensive.
Yeah, but we get 9 slides.
Recycled 9 slides.
The. Anyways, so this program is through the Northeast University Rue Institute. I believe it's in Portland or South Portland or something like that, but anyways. What it does is it's for small businesses, owners and entrepreneurs. And the goal of it is to basically help them thrive through a mentorship program and help them develop skills. The cost is $30K to the town, the town may apply for a grant maybe to pay for it, or use TIF funds, or just raise capital in some way to help pay for it. The way it works is basically, the town would work with the Rue Institute and promote the program. This is what we want to do. And the Rue Institute would select participants, there would be an application process, interview process. And they would select about 10 people. And then, once selected, the individuals, will be placed with a mentor. They'll attend 8 training sessions. The end of the program, they will make a presentation on the final showcase.
Can you help me out a little bit on this one, so I can understand the flow? Do we become the gatekeepers for this? So let's, okay, I am John Smith of Ajax Anchors, and I want to grow my anchor business. Do I come to you? Do I come to this committee? Do I come to the town hall? Ajax Anchors really needs to get a foothold in this business, and you go, great idea. We have this Rue Institute that we have somehow working with. Do I pony up money, Ajax Anchors?
No, let me explain. So the way this works is, this is just a program. It's not really, I guess you consider it like a semester of school, but it's really not. It's like a night school. So what it would do is the town would make a decision whether or not we want to participate in this program. The county of Yarmouth is the first town that took this on. They just finished it. I spoke to the economic development director. They speak really highly of the program, the people that run it, and then the small businesses that were selected. They seem to be really excited about it. And they thought that they could have something from it. So what happens is there would be an application process. And thankfully, the town would select the people, the Rue Institute would select the people.
Okay,
Our role as an economic development committee would be, i.e. making the decision to move forward with this, making a recommendation to the select board, so thinking, i.e. this is a good idea.
to spend the 30K.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Next part of the process would be if they agreed to this, which would be, I'm not sure. The next part, if they said, yes, let's do this. I would envision us helping promote the program, saying, doing some advertising, talking to fellow business owners. Saying, encouraging them to apply. Then, once the Brewer Institute selects 10 people, they would, be partnered with a mentor. And then they would attend these classes. And they basically give you the tools to help grow your business, like your anchor business. And, they
I
also,
read the materials. Yes.
oh, well,
No, I'm not cutting it off, but I'm trying to understand do we pass the baton at some point to these people? I mean, are we a vehicle to get Rue into Wiscasset to help up to 10 small businesses here?
yes, we're just a vehicle. We don't participate in it at all. We're just offering an opportunity to small businesses to help them grow.
Okay.
And, they have professional staff at the Brewer Institute, professors and faculty, and so that will be teaching us these programs for the small business owners.
I mean, as a small business owner who someday would like to grow and scale, I think this sounds like an awesome opportunity for the town, especially if we are creating a committee like this that has actionable items that want to support small businesses. I think this is a step in that direction to say, here are resources, professional resources that are gonna come in with a mentorship program to not only help you in your foundation, but to be with you along the way. And it's a low effort element on this committee or this group and on the town. It's like you said, the vehicle, the facilitator. So for me, that sounds like it's a step in the direction of what we want this committee to be able to do for the small businesses. So I would be in favor of presenting this to the selectmen board for approval.
And so are you just looking for our opinion on whether or not to put it in front of the select board?
Yeah, I
For
mean, that's,
recommendation?
yeah. I mean, I wanna hear your comments. I mean, you had previously told me you thought that there might be better value to the business community. That's been on this. Which, I have to say, I'm not so certain spending $30,000 on this is the right thing to do, but what I'm trying to do is to be responsive and trying to open up opportunities for local businesses here. And I think these are the type of things that I think the town can help facilitate at very low bar. It's just, unfortunately, it does cost quite a bit of money. But it's not a lot of effort on our part.
If you break it out, 10 businesses, that's only $3,000. That's not actually that much money.
What I was saying,
10 participants.
when Aaron and I previously talked about it, I was like, well, I think if business owners found out there was $30,000 out there to support small businesses, then they would say, okay, well, we'd like to have that in different ways. But if we're looking at this as, like you said, this is a $3,000 investment in 10 businesses that is then going to filtrate into other businesses to support each other. I mean, this is a very tight-knit business group. So I think, like I said, I think this is a step in the right direction.
Two questions.
Sure.
Is this a once and done, or is this, if we started with 30K for the first year and whatever for subsequent years? Because if this is a sustainable effort, it very well might be something to be in our economic development plan and be a budgetary line item
Yeah,
moving forward.
I mean, I envision this, would be a big commitment, and I'm not ready to make that commitment until I feel like I heard from our business community that they appreciate this and look at it. So, it could be a one and done thing, but in the ideal world, if people seem to like it and, we might say, and we got like 20 applicants, right? And we only had to pick 10, well, that will tell us a little bit. And then after the program, if those 10 people are like super excited about it, that'll tell us some more information And then we can maybe budget for it next year, and so forth. So, there's gonna be a fiscal issue with this, so, we're gonna have to talk about that.
But there's also a marketing issue.
Yes,
Here, both positive and immediate and positive future. If, as you drive into our town, you see, we are certified business friendly.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I can just.
Don't worry, it's coming.
Oh,
But it's,
My reflection is that this sounds like the most business friendly. But when I think about that term and that sign, I'm like, oh, this feels a little bit business friendly, like
even
that.
lights would help on a sign.
Yeah.
Oh,
So basically,
As long as it's marked.
during the follow-up page administration.
Yeah.
He was big into business development and supporting small businesses. There was an opportunity for towns basically to apply for this certified business friendly program. You basically got nothing. It was just a status and like town managers would get a picture in front of the sign, and everybody would be like, oh, we're business friendly. And they put on the resident. But basically the main qualifications were like, you had to get a letter from the Chamber of Commerce.
I wrote the letter.
Just so,
Did you get to stand in front of the sign?
But it was basically, the point was that there was somebody in the office, to the town office to help promote businesses.
but this is a much more tangible effort.
Mhm.
And we have had at the select board for the last several meetings, a number of small businesses come in to get their permission to operate. I mean,
Like
so we
four
had like
the other day, right?
15, yeah, no, 5, because we added one at the last minute. So it's been about 15 new businesses. These are small entrepreneurial, all of them are small entrepreneurial efforts.
Mhm.
This seems to be the type of effort that can help people get everything done. I mean, how to manage your taxes, how to manage your accounting, where to get resources for X, Y, and Z. How to advertise. I mean, that's all the things that small businesses may not just instinctively know.
All they knew me 4 years ago. I had no idea, so,
Really?
yeah.
Right, you
My
just kind
second
of jumped in.
question. Whenever you're ready. Who are their competitors?
What do you mean?
Mackenzie.
Rube, yes. Small Business Administration, who, what? I mean, they're not the only fish in the pond.
So, there's a lot. There's the main small business development centers.
Can we shop it? That's what I'm coming.
I don't know that there's a program exactly like this, and even that there's, aid courses and there's, we're gonna have to stop in about less than a couple minutes, but,
It's just something, it looks like a certain opportunity
for
for.
long ventures.
I'm just wondering if there are other, if this is the only fish in the sea, their proposal, that's great, but it makes me wonder who else is out there? And if we are going to be business friendly, and if we can put it up, a little thing to hang in the bottom of our signage coming down, and we can help you run your small businesses.
Yeah.
Then we got a leg up on this.
And have we talked to the chamber? And what does the chamber think about this? And would they be willing to participate in the sponsorship of this? Because this really strikes me as a chamber thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. I can bring this up, I can tell you that the chamber, well, you know that, right, that is.
They don't have any money.
Yeah, they don't have-
Money?
We're working on it.
No.
Well, they're good conduit for business.
Yes, yeah.
Their information, yeah.
Yeah, to your question, I would wonder, like, is there comparable education that could be provided through the Small Business Development Center or SCORE? And if the answer is yes, then maybe there's some strategizing to do around how to get better access and awareness of those educational opportunities. But if the answer is no, then it gives a little more justification to approach the select board and say, this is why we think it's
And
that.
we've had workshops with small business and SCORE and all of them through
Yeah.
the years. We've had a lot of different workshops where they come and they tell you what programs
I mean,
are.
to me sounds a little, it sounds like more targeted and focused.
Yeah, I
But-
agree. It is.
I
It
would,
just would be an interesting question.
I would look at that as a both and, like, yes, we still need to continue offering small business development, core programs, workshops. From everyone that I've heard hosting those or attending those, the participation and attendance is very low. So if we
Yeah.
have something targeted and we
Yeah.
start that. This town is truly business friendly, we're creating programs that are
Hmm.
courses with mentors to follow you along. And we start that trend, I think that's gonna also increase some of the participation in those other efforts as well, in tangent with the chamber and local school or small business administration. So do we make a motion to like put these things onto a select board? Is that a?
Yeah, we can, make a motion. I'd love to have a motion. I don't think we would ever have a motion.
I didn't know the structure of this, I'm brand new to the
Another
board, or anything, so.
No, I mean, I just like some sort of, direction from you. If you all support it, then we can go to the select board and say, hey, we're interested in this, and, I have your feedback. And I think they would appreciate your support if you give it, for this project.
I mean, we're an advisory committee, I don't know if we need to vote.
Okay.
I would have it like you said before.
I'd be happy to go to the selecting board on behalf of the town development committee and. Put this in front of them saying, we would love to see this happen if they approved it, if everyone here is in agreement with that, I'd be happy to be that person.
Want to just get consensus, I mean, it sounds like everybody here is in support of it, or just want to just make sure we.
I mean, it sounds like something that we should look into, and I mean,
I agree.
yeah.
We should look into it. I don't know where it puts us in the queue with them, because if there's a success story of what Garment,
Right, they may be looking, are they offering
there
this
may be other
out?
So,
towns queuing up.
Because of Yarmouth, that there has been a number of other communities expressing interest, like Bath, I understand, and there's some other ones that. So we might not get into the queue for the spring, but
That's okay, because then we can plan and figure out how to come up with the money,
Money.
or you can.
So what's our next step on that?
So I guess what I'm hearing from you is. Do you think we're ready for the select board? Do you wanna do a little bit more research, a little bit more follow-up and come up with a more formal proposal?
I think they'll want to have more information too,
Right.
like you bring up the point of maybe just seeing what else is out there, are there any other programs similar? That might be offering something that we don't have to come up with $30,000. I mean, I don't know, I haven't heard of anything, but I hadn't heard of this, so. Maybe there is.
So, shall we continue to research this,
Yes.
to look at it?
This is not tabled, it's moving forward.
Correct.
Yeah,
We'll talk
there's
about it
general
in the next
interest.
meeting. We'll make a
Interest in
decision at
this.
the next
Let's
meeting.
make time for our guests,
Yes.
and we need to approve the minute from the, not last meeting, but the one before.
Yeah, because the last meeting
We
didn't
didn't have a
have.
form, right?
I didn't put that on the agenda, we can do that, right? I don't even remember what meeting that, what month that was,
I wasn't here,
August,
so
I think so. But,
I'll abstain from that.
So that we should evaluate.
or you're the only person to vote on it.
Yeah, let's just.
You make a motion to approve this? Okay.
We'll have to wait until there's.
So,
Does anybody wanna work with me on this specific item?
Sure.
Right?
Got your name all
You help
over
me do my storm windows, I help you do this.
Education.
I'll do it with you, friend, it'll be fun.
Alright,
I'll do it
thank
too.
you, everybody. I'd like to welcome, Cassie, Reyes and Leslie others to see the select meeting. They have, they're from the climate action team. Yes.
I have naps. And I will use the big stuff.
Alright.
We-
Everybody who's given the information.
And you have to plug it in.
I do. I'm the only person who uses this regularly. There,
It's there, it's somebody in
Yeah.
this.
it's working on.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, while I'm doing this, I think I can do this and talk at the same time. Could we go around and introduce, I'm Cassie, I'm the chair of the climate action team. I'm Leslie Roberts, vice chair of the climate action team.
I'm Sherry Dunbar.
Oh,
Barista.
Eric McIntyre.
Urban deck. Right, Quibi.
Aaron.
Thanks, everybody. Where is this going? Well, we are here to tell you about a proposal that Leslie's been working on for 3 years. Yes, 3 years. 3 years, around a restoration, a wetland restoration around the Pleasant Street extension. And this is part of a broader project that the climate action team has been supporting the town of Wiscasset on about waterfront resilience, along a very long swath of the waterfront. Just get mouse out. Cool things.
I didn't do that, I just wanted to say, my desire is to have the committee here, vote on this issue at some point, hopefully, we have time. And then I tend to write a letter to WCAT and the select board, with your comments. And your reason for your support or non-support on this project. So I think that that's sort of one of my goals here, but besides the education piece.
Let's,
Yeah, that's what I do.
here we go. Okay, let's see what, now, let's see if I can figure out the direction where my mouse is gonna go. Yes, okay, great. Thank you. That's very cool. Okay, so Pleasant Street Extension, I think probably everybody here knows where that is. So the climate action team is an ad hoc committee that was pulled together at the request of the select board in about 2.5 years ago to help study the impacts of climate change, solutions to it, as well as to help the town enroll in the State of Maine's Community Resilience Partnership, which is a program that is aimed to help communities stay more resilient and take action on water pollution. And so in early 2024, we, after a lot of public engagement, we helped the town do just that. The select board passed a climate resolution that, based on public input, prioritized working on improving the resilience of our waterfront to flooding, storms, and sea level rise, very high up in terms of near-term action. And in partnership with the town, we then helped secure a community action grant to do a waterfront resilience study. And so that's been in progress since early this year. And so the bounds of the study go from, this is Route 1, this is a map where we're looking at Route 1. The bounds of the study go from about the Creamery Pier right next to Route 1 to the recreational and commercial piers areas and the Pleasant Street extension. So we've been working very closely with an engineering firm, Haley Ward, to study this part of the waterfront. And Leslie has been working in partnership with local, state, and federal experts on studying different opportunities to help with wetland health and community assets along the Pleasant Street extension, which she's going to tell you a little bit more about in a second. I'm just warming up. Sorry. Okay, so the Pleasant Street, well, the waterfront in general, as I'm sure you all recall, is increasingly subject to flooding at high tides, as well as flooding during storms. And in early 2024. Yeah, 2024, we had two back-to-back coastal storms, only a few days apart. That gave us an eye-opening look at what our waterfront looks like with 4 feet of flooding. And so that in some ways was, I think, a large impetus behind trying to do a waterfront resilience study to really figure out how we can make our town assets and infrastructure resilient, as well as how to create economic opportunities, which is why we're chatting with you. And so when we look at sea level rise along the waterfront, through some very high resolution data capture that the engineering firm has taken, we're starting to get a sense for which assets along the waterfront are going to be impacted by permanent flooding with sea level rise in the next 25 to 75 years. So a quick sneak peek at that. Can anybody not tell the difference between red and yellow here? Can everybody see the difference there? Okay, good. I always like to check for color blindness. It's relevance. And so the state of Maine has worked with the most eminent scientists in our state to identify the most likely path that sea level rise will take over the next century. So what we as a town are planning for is to expect 1.5 feet of sea level rise by 2050. That's for over the year, since the year 2000. So when I pay off my mortgage. We're gonna have sea level rise up to this red level here. And so the waterfront resilience study is showing us that there's flooding over our boat ramps, starting to see some flooding here and a little bit along the waterfront. But by the end of the century, with 4 feet of sea level rise being the expected level, there's gonna be significantly more flooding. Now, turning back to the Pleasant Street extension, and I just tease you with this. And we can talk another time more about the broader effort. But turning back to the Pleasant Street extension, we know that at about 1.5 feet of sea level rise, the Pleasant Street extension is pretty much underwater. So this is 1.6 feet of sea level rise here. And we already see that today during really high tide flooding, our highest tides of the year, the entire basin goes underwater. And Leslie very kindly took some photos from January of 2024 that showed the Pleasant Street extension is here. It's just underwater during those 2 big coastal storms.
It's almost all of the railroad track as well.
Yeah, and a bit of White's Island as well. Just want to point out White's Island is also included because we often get questions about that. That flooding nearly impacted this house along 4th Street. Oops, apologies. And we can see that this is
Up over 4th Street.
yeah, up over 4th Street as well. So at present, we know that the Pleasant Street extension and this entire basin are not only being impacted by coastal flooding, we're also seeing a lot of runoff and erosion coming off Fort Hill Street when we have high rain events. Now we've scientists have observed that Maine is experiencing more frequent, very high rainfall events. Hamden, Western Maine, they are receiving 6 to 7 inches of rain in 24 hours. That is humongous and that's extremely devastating. So that kind of erosion could be pretty problematic for this basin as well. In addition, apologies. In addition, in this basin right now, there are a lot of invasive plant species that are not contributing to the health of this natural asset. So something we're going to talk to you about with this proposed project is a concept of nature-based economic assets and the nature-based assets that we have in this area with a potential restoration. So I think with that, I'm going to turn it over to Leslie to talk about a proposal that she has been developing with a lot of partners to restore not only this area, but transform the extension into a potentially, very vital asset.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Cassie. That's gonna be a tough act to follow. But, for the past 3 years, I and neighbors, folks in the neighborhood, and then WCAT have been working on trying to advance this idea of turning the Pleasant Street extension into, well, restoring it as marshland, actually. So grading it, restoring it, planting native plants, and creating a space, a submergible garden that would be, you know, a place for people to walk to gather, et cetera, et cetera. And it would also improve the health of the marshland, increase absorption when we have these big storms, et cetera. So over the past 3 years, this is coming for the select board. I'd say at least twice. The select board did approve the initial approach, but then at one point they said, hey, let's get some more public input before we give you guys the go ahead. We had gotten soft approval for grant money, but before we actually submitted it, we decided to go back and have some more public meetings and get the healthy legislature. So in the course of the past 3 years, we have met with Maine Department of Marine Resources, Maine Department of Game and Fisheries. We've got Rebecca Jacobs from Knox Lincoln County Soil and Water Commission. She's working with us and helped come up with the design that Cassie's going to show you. Nature Conservancy, the U.S. Army Corps, Bureau of Land Resources, Maine DEP, Maine Wetland Scientists. So we've had a lot of experts come and give us feedback and give us advice on the best way to frame this project. So when we do apply for the grant, it will be a pretty easy one. So what are we trying to do? What we're proposing to do is grade the Pleasant Street extension. That spit currently is man-made. It was built at one time as a means to access White's Island. It's just a bunch of fill and riprap and, you know, plastic, and it's kind of a mess. And so what we're trying to do is grade that area down, plant a series of, and you can see the list over there of native marine plants, and build a small little pocket park at the base of it, which would be a submergible garden, since we get so much flooding there. There would be some benches, a few parking spaces, a place for a kayak launch, et cetera, et cetera. So that is what we're trying to do, and we have gotten the money for this project would be through the Maine Natural Resources Conservation Program, which is a program that's been set up to it's a state program that lets developers pay a fee to make up for damage that they cause the environment. So it's, you know, for anybody that messes up the wetlands, they pay some money, they pay a fine. That money is used to restore the wetlands in other places. So we had already gotten a soft okay from Maine Natural Resource Conservation to submit this grant. They thought it was a really great fit. I think I'll pause there for any feedback.
I think one thing I meant to mention before is, in feedback, we've done some sort of public meetings for this wider project in general. And we heard some really valuable feedback, which is that our residents and our visitors don't feel like the Wiscasset waterfront is very welcoming. They don't feel like it's a comfortable place to bring their families and spend time. And largely that's partly because it's perceived as a large, it's all parking lot. There aren't green spaces, there aren't places to sort of stay and be comfortable. And so we heard a lot of enthusiasm and even some ideas for creating more green space, walkable space, parks, even splash pads where people could come and bring their families. And one woman said she goes on bike tours in Europe and she would love to have a park along the waterfront, have people, you know, stop there on bike tours along Route 1. We thought that was an awesome idea. And so other parts of our waterfront, we're having a lot of discussions around making sure it stays a working waterfront and remains water to have good access to the water. And we think that this design not only supports the nature-based assets of the wetlands. But creates a nice space for people to come, bring their families, to watch wildlife, to even get into the water more easily. I've tried to kayak off of that extension and nearly fell in the water because it's pretty steep. So we feel like this could decrease costs for the town through having to maintain an asset that's getting underwater more regularly, but also creates the kind of public space that people have been saying they would really like to see.
Right. On top of improving the quality of the water and increasing, encouraging more wildlife, migratory birds, et cetera, et cetera. So we feel like it's a great step forward. It's going to clean up that area. We'll have more native plants, hopefully more birds, more things for people to see, place for people to walk to, park their bikes, sit and hang out with their kids.
Do you have any, like, I see this plan here, but do you have any plans of what it would really look like? Have you gone that far yet?
We
Like,
haven't, no, this is as close,
That's as
this
much,
is,
yeah.
yeah, this is our.
so you don't have any costs, you don't know what it's gonna cost yet because you don't really have the plan.
I don't have any cost yet, because before I go to all of that time and energy, I wanna make sure we really help the town. Then we would submit for the grant, whatever we're awarded would be, okay, this is how much money we get for the grant, this is how much we can afford to do in this portion of the project.
Do you know what kind of a match it would be? What kind of a match the grant?
0%.
0%.
0%?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's entirely.
Well, that's a no-brainer then.
Seems like, yeah.
Free money.
Really,
It
I've
really
always
is.
been saying we need to utilize the waterfront, I think it's way underutilized, it's,
Agreed.
so I would totally support this,
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
Okay.
I agree, I would support it too, I think the waterfront is one of the most unattractive parts of the town.
It's shocking, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and there's
I
some.
wouldn't call it unattractive, but it needs some work. It's still beautiful down there, I mean, I realize.
So much potential.
Look better before the two ships schooners burned to the water level,
Oh.
yeah. Can you educate me, what was the original Planet Pleasant Street Extension project? I'm not.
The Pleasant Street extension, that little spit was formed, as a way to access what I think they called Hobbs Island.
Yeah, okay.
And there had been a lumber mill there and some other, industry, even a little boarding house. There were wharfs that extended way out into the water, so it was a beehive of activity. But, since the footbridges have become
Okay.
accessible,
Yeah, okay.
it's.
And the railroad.
And the railroad, that's right, and that was the other thing, the railroad sort of cut through and cut off this little harbor and has made it. Less healthy than it really should be. So we think that removing the spit, having more plants is going to, one, act as a sponge and help absorb more of the water that comes in during these storm high tides. Hopefully will also improve the quality of the water and,
And it will
encourage,
beautify our waterfront.
it will beautify it.
Are there any plans, I don't even know who owns the railroad, any plans to change or adjust the railroad tracks to that area?
I mean, my fantasy would be if one day MDOT decides that that is no longer a viable use, would be rails to trails. Which a lot of people would say would be amazing.
But at present, we've been engaging a lot with MDOT on the broader project, and at present, they are just in a repair and status quo mode. But they've seen the same sea level rise projections we have. They know that eventually they'll have to do something or
Or
not.
or not,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, so right now, we can't plan for that kind of thing.
Gotcha, okay.
Out of curiosity, it looks like from the map, you're gonna, by grading down, you mean remove functionally 2/3, or at least reduce the elevation of about 2/3 of the extension, and does that also include removal of the remaining islands and pier infrastructure,
I
or?
don't think so. I mean, their basic thing is moving themselves slowly, like
Fair.
falling into the water.
Yeah.
I think we have to remove that little spit, on the side that's up against the tracks, because those two pieces of land act as a bottleneck. The water comes in under the trestle. And once it goes into that larger portion of the current, it can't get back out very easily, so you get water coming up over Fourth Street, then in that low area.
I would support it personally, if there was, a place to launch a kayak, right? A place for it along Fourth Street and Fourth Street. For boat storage parking. I think that.
Yeah, we've
that's part
got
of the
4
plan,
parking spots.
Right?
New plan.
And then, please consider like a place for the parking spaces for, maybe big enough for, like a food truck or something. Something like that.
I mean, a food truck would be amazing if we ever decided to, even during holidays, close down the low section of Fourth Street. Because you could between Bradley or Lee and Pleasant Street, if you had during Winterfest, you had food trucks there, you had your horse and buggy down there, so they didn't have to deal with traffic. You could have like maybe a little, some other winter sports. Fourth Street could eventually, because it's getting so inundated during storms, Fourth Street could actually, if we ever got by and become a greenway. And then we have another amazing place for families to ride bikes. Food trucks and all that kind of cool stuff. That's another plan.
Another thing is- Yeah. it's-
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, right now, Fourth Street, with 1.5 feet of sea level rise is expected to be permanently inundated here. Of course, with higher tides, that would be more frequent, and at 4 feet, it's a lot of it's underwater. So it's certainly something that the town will have to deal with.
The other thing too, I think. Just an observation, comment.
Mhm.
And, is, I think before it goes to the select board, they should always have some monetary impact, even though that there's. The grant will pay for it, but. I think last time we had it go select board, that was one of their concerns was. Understanding the true cost.
Yeah, no information on money is doing the other part. Yeah, right.
Thank you, kind of.
Yeah, so we talked with the Soil and Water Conservation District about maybe similar projects and how much they have cost.
Yeah, we'd almost have to get a small amount of funding to have an engineer
Do a design.
do a
Yeah.
design and understand where, when they grade that area, where that fill goes.
Yeah, my understanding is that that could be all included in the scope of a grant award.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I would think your grant award is gonna wanna know an estimate too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not just gonna say, okay, we'll write you checks until we feel like not doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, typically they'll have an award amount, right? But it would be good to have, like, okay, this is going to cost approximately 100,000 or 200 or 300,000, whatever that's going to be.
Right, based on X, Y, and Z projects, this should be about.
Yeah.
The grantors are gonna wanna see that we've done some due diligence and, you know, you've done a great job, but. I think the money part is the observation piece that I think is a little weak.
Makes sense.
And I thought that's what we kind of hired Rebecca for.
She was hired to create the initial design. And which she did, and it's quite good, and the money that's left has been put aside so she can help facilitate. Future public meetings and or grant when we go to write the next grant and more, so we've got her hours set aside as we need them. And I can ask her if she has a way to pull in an engineer to help come up with a swag.
We can talk more about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter Wells is a landscaping engineer. I don't know if he would, he's in Damascus now, but he might be willing to offer something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other quick questions?
Well, just irrespective of long-term effects of climate change, I think it's a better idea than extending a bridge out to a island that nobody's gonna go out to. 30 years ago, when I first moved here and I would sit back there at some of the meetings, that was a never-ending discussion, what to do with that. I think it was privately owned at one point or something, yeah. Makes more sense.
Yeah, people can still go out to that island by kayak.
Sure,
It's really-
absolutely, yeah. I agree.
But it would be very expensive for us to go to the bridges and deal with the liability of people walking over tracks.
I agree, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley.
Thank
I
you.
think it's ready, it's probably not ready for separate, right?
I want some money first.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a firm money, it just needs to be a ballpark.
and I feel like we've got some
We got a-
ballpark before, so we'll get back then.
Yeah, and some support for it, where that number came from.
Well, we need you guys to support us so we can go to the select board and get them to say, yeah, we support you going.
Oh,
with the
I don't
council.
vote on that, I'm a non-voting,
She's
I'm a liaison, not a.
It's like she's not even here.
Yeah, it's like I'm not even here, except I keep talking.
but probably you're voting on,
Makes sense.
thanks, you were on what board on that?
Sorry?
You're voting on the team.
Yes, I'm all for this.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Alright, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Not actually a member,
Oh,
just a listening.
So there's two members
Entity.
left.
Oh, well, there you go.
Great. Well, thank you. It was
Yeah,
really
thank you,
lovely to
guys.
meet you both and
Yes.
I hope we could come back soon and then, you know, talk about the broader project because we're really excited.
Yes.
There's a lot, yeah, there's a lot of great work and we have some public meetings coming up. I think
Yes.
we're gonna pass those along.
I like the idea.
thank you all. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it. Thanks, David.
Well, thank you. So I think we're done.
Pretty much, yeah, and as you move pretty much.
My company just arrived, so.
There you go.
My
I don't even know who